Hi, and welcome along to the All Guns Blazing podcast. I've got my man DT in the building. How you doing? Have you been behaving yourself this week? Ridiculous. I'm going to stop asking this question because I know the answer to it every week. You've done something.
No, I've not been behaving. You know what, Robbie? I told
Why
you.
Why have you been laying into my man AFTV, man?
What, Heavy D? Listen, pay your rent, innit, bruv?
Come on, man.
Nah, man. Listen.
You can't believe everything that's written in the Sun.
Listen, it's in a lot of papers, but I'm not going to get involved in that. And
right. Leave Heavy D alone.
You know what? At the end of the day, look, listen. I told you the other day, I got fire back inside me. I was kind of a bit like tomato ketchup for the last few months where I've been allowing so much. And, you know, there's certain things I'll never respond to. People that want to insult my children and all this kind of stuff. But then last week, I kind of said, you know what? Some people need putting in their place.
Could you do without Twitter for a week?
Yeah.
2 weeks?
Minor.
I'm going to do like, any charity out there, let's do a sponsored...
We'll do it at the end of the season.
You see? You can't do that.
No, because I have to use it for promotional purposes.
Yeah, give it to someone else to do for the week.
I have someone that helps me.
I'm going to get a charity on board with this, right?
Okay.
For you, a sponsored, what would they call it? A sponsored no Twitter zone for about 2 weeks.
But then how would you know if that's me tweeting or not?
No one's allowed to tweet. You're not allowed to do no tweeting for 2 weeks.
But then what happens when I upload my videos because they automatically upload?
That's all right. A video can be uploaded, but no tweets, nothing.
Like no like tweets or no
nothing,
like replies,
man.
no picture.
No replies, no nothing.
Just just only videos.
A Twitter detox.
Like only videos.
Huh?
Like promoting my videos.
Yeah.
Like,
you could promote your videos, but no reply. You can't respond to anything that's said. I don't think you could do it, man.
Okay, cool. All right. Get on board.
You're worse than Donald Trump on Twitter, trust me.
Nah, man. DT as well, innit?
Yeah, two of you got the initials DT. Right? But listen, it was fantastic last weekend. Beating Tottenham. We both called it when we did the show. Yes, Mesut Özil, he was on fire on the day.
I just don't think you understand, yeah?
But what a fantastic performance by Arsenal. You know, we've wanted to see that.
Yeah.
And they delivered.
Do you know what? This is the one thing we were talking about when I'd done an interview with Kevin Campbell leading up to it, and we spoke about the North London derby in his time with Tony Adams, Ian Wright, etc. And we said that what we would give to have a team now that had that kind of mentality. They went out there and played like they had that mentality. And that's all we asked for as fans.
Because we were questioning, will they know what it means? And then, you know, we went to the game and a lot of people saw that Jack Wilshere weren't starting because we know that that's the one guy who knows what that game means.
Yeah.
And when we saw that he weren't starting, we was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But you have to say, to a man, every one of those players, they played like they knew what that meant.
They were superb.
They gave their life for that game. They were brave. They closed, Tottenham down. They didn't give them any space.
The pressing game was really good.
It was brilliant.
You know,
Sanchez was brilliant.
You think the pressing game against Man City, it was highlighted by so many ex-players and whatnot, and Lee Dixon touched on it and said that the pressing was completely wrong. They were going, either one was going and then two weren't, or all three were going, but it was the wrong time. It was completely wrong, but yet they done it perfectly. When three had to go, three had to go. When two had to go, two had to go. When they had to sit and let them play, we let them play. And what really, made me like smile as well was the second half more than anything, because very Arsenal-like would be to go, let's just go and get 3, 4, 5, let's try it. And we would leave ourselves open and let Tottenham back in the game. And as lovely as it might be to beat Tottenham 3, 4, 5 and score loads of goals and it's extra, to rub it in, it's just nice to beat them.
They managed the game.
And exactly, they basically sat there in the second half and said, right, we don't need another goal. We've got the 3 points in the bag. How much do you want to get back in the game? Come on. Come and break us down. These are our lines. Get through us. And they sat there and said, go on. And then whenever we win the ball, we're just going to counter. And every time we countered, it was just fast, it was purposeful, it was precise. And we were unlucky not to get 3 or 4 goals.
Yeah, that was the only thing that disappointed me, that we didn't score more. But it was a fantastic performance, and you know, I mean, to a man, every player really played well. Mesut Özil. Now, this is the argument. Now, I know you're putting up your hand and you're going and you're saying fantastic and that. What a lot of fans were saying afterwards in the interviews, apart from yourself, is that we want to see this every week from Mesut Özil.
But this is the thing, I think we do. But
no, we don't.
But he's just easily criticised. That's my opinion.
You think like how he played the other day, the way he did. I'm not on about when he was on the ball. What really impressed me last week, right, was when he didn't have the ball. His work rate, the way he was getting back, the way he was, you know, keeping the shape. You know, the way he was like putting. He didn't really put any. You know, he couldn't really say put tackles in, but he was there. He was there. He was, you know, he was getting his body there. He was brilliant.
You know what? Apart from the Man City game, I can't fault him this season in games that he's played. I really can't, and I say that he's.
Does he work hard enough?
Yes, I believe that he has, but when the results haven't gone right, he's a very easy target. Gary Lineker summed it up in one of his tweets. Because he doesn't run around like a headless chicken, you just kind of get caught.
Come on.
No.
He doesn't do enough work sometimes.
He has been. There's been a hell of a lot worse players in that team who get away with it. And he's been the scapegoat.
No, because you know, the reason why he gets a lot of grief is because he's looked upon as a talisman player of the team. He's the guy that
you can be a talisman, but
he's supposed to be one of the leaders of that team.
That's
right?
fine, but you still.
And what it is sometimes when the chips are down, right? He doesn't work hard enough. He doesn't track back. He doesn't. You know what I mean? He's done that a lot. Not just this season. Over the years.
I'll give you an example. Right, Watford away. Yeah, he'd just come on the pitch. He missed a 1-on-1. He never intentionally meant to miss that 1-on-1. He should have scored it. Yes, it's
easy chance.
You know, listen. An easy chance for me is an open goal. Right? When you're 1-on-1 with the goalkeeper,
it's an easy chance.
It's not an easy chance because it's still a battle of wills between you and the goalkeeper. Some of the best players have missed 1-on-1s. It doesn't make you a bad player. Cristiano Ronaldo's missed 1-on-1s. Lionel Messi's missed 1-on-1s. Thierry Henry 1-on-1 in the Champions League final just before they equalised.
Yeah, that's one-offs.
No, but when does Mesut Özil normally have 1-on-1s?
But what I'm saying is, right?
No. But what I'm saying is...
The reason I'm saying one-offs is the guys that you're naming, they normally bury it.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, Mesut Özil's more of a creator than a goal scorer. He was in that situation, he missed the chance, and because we lost the game, it's let's all blame him. And I felt the criticism of him that day was so unjust, so out of order. Like he deliberately missed.
Well, he's compounded it.
He's
compounded it because he ain't signed a new deal, right? So that when you're there and you're demanding big money and you're through 1-on-1 on the keeper with a chance that he should have scored, that was an easy 1-on-1 where he just kicked it straight at the goalkeeper.
I think he tried calling the keeper's bluff.
You start to look at yourself and say to yourself, "Yo, you're asking us to pay you £300,000 a week plus, right?" And you can't even bury a chance like that. But then what you've got to remember... That's why he picked up so much criticism.
What you've got to remember as well is that he was bought to provide an assist.
And score.
And in terms of his statistics for providing, there's no one that touches him in the Premier League.
Yes, and he's very good at assisting, and I love Mesut Özil. He's a world-class player, but the argument still remains that we want to see more of what we saw last week.
Yeah.
Last week... Not only was he excellent on the ball, when he didn't have the ball, he was brilliant. Right? He worked his socks off. Right? When he came off that pitch, when he was substituted, he had nothing left. He left it all on the pitch, and that's what people want to see more of with Mesut Özil. I'm not saying that I expect him to go flying into tackles, because that's not his game. But at least work. And sometimes, over these, in his tenure when he's been at Arsenal, he hasn't put in enough work when he doesn't have the ball.
But then I also
I
also believe as well that it helps when everyone around him's performing as well, and he's not expected to be the only one that has to stand up and perform. Or Alexis has.
But he is the talisman.
Yeah,
he is the talisman.
But he can't do it himself.
We're looking to him, and we're saying.
What I'm saying is, it's like for example, when Dennis Bergkamp was at Arsenal, when Dennis had a bad game. you knew that Thierry Henry was there.
Dennis would put a tackle in there, right?
No, I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is when Dennis had a bad game, it wasn't that noticeable because you had Thierry, you had Robert Pires, you had Freddie Ljungberg, you had Patrick Vieira, you had Manu Petit. So when one of those had an off day, there would always be someone there. The problem is that we haven't got that quality of players around no more. So when Mesut Özil does have a bit of an off day, it really stands out because this player's not performing, that player's not performing. I felt Aaron Ramsey, couple of times he made a couple of silly decisions,
sometimes, yeah.
but he was very
well.
disciplined in the fact that he went when he had to, he stayed. Granit Xhaka, very disciplined as well.
Played well.
The fact that he was on a yellow card quite early from the first half as well. I straight away turned around and I remember saying to Kieran at half time, and I said, you know what, I'd give it 15-20. If it's still 2-0, I'd take Granit Xhaka off because that could really change the game. And the wet conditions, sliding in and all that kind of stuff. But he controlled himself. Whereas
Mustafi,
maybe a year ago,
Mustafi
was unreal. And I see a stat the other day about Mustafi that this season, in the 9 games Mustafi's played, only Stoke have scored against us when he's played. That's a serious stat.
Okay.
You know what I mean? And it's just like, and I think in these last 50 games or something, I think it's 36 of those he's played. 36 of his of Arsenal's last 50 games that he's played in, our goal difference is plus 35.
But there was a lot of people cussing.
And then
didn't I hear you slagging him off, man?
No, I turned around and said that he needs to stop jumping in.
Hold on. Didn't I hear you slating him earlier on in the season?
No, I said he needs to stop jumping in. And I actually turned round last week and said, look how good he was when he came from Valencia. Look how good he is with Germany. And then that.
No, but now you're saying he's doing very well at Arsenal.
We're on about he had one good game the other day, and then obviously that's
no, but the stats
statistic.
that you just said some stats that when he's playing, we look a much better team.
That's what the stats are saying. But then he hasn't played in the big games, apart from Spurs. And then,
you always got something to try and get yourself out.
No, because he wasn't there at Liverpool, was he? He wasn't playing at Liverpool.
There you go.
He wasn't playing.
Maybe if he'd have been playing, maybe you never know.
They weren't at Man City either.
There you go.
Maybe, but we don't know. Because
but you was having a go.
No, but what I'm saying is a lot of those games that we've won are games that we were expected to win. Against your Brightons and your West Broms and stuff like that. So I'm saying it needs to be a longer... Don't try and get me mixed up with
you. Said, no.
Oh,
you said,
my God.
You was talking about how Wenger, since Wenger's got him, he's gone downhill.
Yeah, because...
But the stats that you're quoting saying that he...
Well... From last, how poor was he last season, especially towards the second half of the season?
He had a lot of injuries in that. Didn't
he? He done really well at the start.
Yeah.
Then he had an injury. Then he came back and he looked a completely different player. Like, what's happened to this guy? Couldn't stay on his feet. Slid in for everything. And even now he's still got that little reckless side where he slides in. You're like, oh my God, what are you doing? And then this year he's still been very stop, start. But what I'm saying is the signs are all right. But it needs to be consistent. But
it was a great win.
Yeah.
You know what? It was fantastic. The atmosphere in the stadium was amazing, which shows us that this place can pop.
Yeah.
If the fans get behind the team. Again, we're talking about the players and we're saying, loads of fans are coming out of that stadium and saying, well, why don't they do that every week? We also need to look at ourselves as fans and say, why can't we do that every week?
Yeah.
All right, it's not going to be the North London derby every week. We know derbies bring out more passion than even a regular game. But even if we had a half of what the atmosphere was, last weekend, I mean, we could turn the Emirates into a real fortress.
Even a flare went off in the North Bank.
A flare went off. I couldn't believe it. I was like,
what? A flare? You know what I mean? In the home end, it's normally the way end.
We were fired up.
Exactly,
I mean,
but
why can't it be like that more? Even people, I was chatting to a fan, he was in the upper tier, which is normally dead, and he said to me it's popping up there as well.
Yeah, because
why can't we create a better atmosphere in that stadium? I'm not saying, as I said, I'm not saying it can be the North London derby type atmosphere every week, because we know that derbies, wherever it is around the world, get fans going even more than normal.
Do you know
what? If we had half of that,
but it just shows
the players responded to that.
I don't know whether the club are really interested or bothered. That's the only problem. It's, seeing the flares go off and stuff like that. you know, the people in charge at the club would have probably been having nightmares of leather seats getting burned and all sorts. But, you know, at the end of the day, you only have to look. And if you took 3 sections of that North Bank, you had block 8, 9 and 10, for example, behind the goal area, and just to the sides of them. If you had that as a, you know, a main section where the fans can all be congregated, that are like-minded, that want to create an atmosphere and want to stand up and want to sing and want to bang on the metal boardings that are above us and give it, you know, and then let it happen.
All kind of excuses all the time. Fans from abroad were there at the weekend.
They were loving it.
The design of the stadium. Nothing wrong with the design.
The design of the stadium was to actually not... If I remember rightly, when they designed that stadium, there was a few things. Like, the way it was designed was to stop shadows on the pitch, was one of the ways they designed it. And also it was designed to hold noise in.
Yeah, and it does.
And it does.
It does. The only thing is that normally there ain't no noise.
Exactly.
There's nothing to hold in.
And the thing was, because I remember, like, before the game, I'm looking round, I'm like, yeah, this is good. This is like...
it was beautiful.
And it was like, do you know the best thing was that all of the, you know, the tension, the worries, the problems, the dramas, it was like we were a united fan base again for 90 minutes. And everyone said, right, we're going to get together for this 90 minutes and we've got to give everything. And I tweeted it out, I said it during the week. Listen, we might not like each other, some of us, we might have difference of opinions, but for 90 minutes, let's just get together and beat them lot. Let's just do that. And then we can go back to fighting each other after. But let's just go and get this done. And we went out there as a fan base and we put 100% in. The players put 100% in. And they bounced off each other.
Yeah,
because
and that's what happens.
Because when the players were shutting down and when the players were getting into them, it made us respond. It made us get louder. We were like applauding and go, come on. Because we could see that the players were
people weren't leaving early and stuff like that.
You couldn't see the cannon in the seating at 90 minutes and stuff. Everyone wanted to stay to applaud what they had just seen because it was worthwhile staying and applauding and appreciating what they had done.
So it just goes to show that if we can create a great atmosphere in that stadium on a regular basis, right? What can we achieve in that stadium?
So much, but the club need to allow us some leeway. The club need to allow it. Ivan Gazidis and that need to, you know, open themselves up a little bit to ideas. Stop giving it all the, you know, but some people won't move or listen, shut up, all right, please. Because I remember the clock end as being what it was and you moved people from there so you could put junior gunners in there. You stuck junior gunners next to the away fans. That's stupid enough on its own. Do you know what I mean? The junior gunners at Highbury was nowhere near the away end. It was down next to the North Bank on the left-hand side. So don't tell me you can't do it. At the end of the day, you just literally, you put people that want to be in this space in there.
Yeah, and I'd really love to see that because the atmosphere was incredible. Now, both on the fans will be all right this weekend because we know that the fans are going to go away. They always make loads of noise. And at Burnley last year, I remember we scored that last-minute goal.
Woo!
And it was
I flew about 5 rows.
Yeah,
that was amazing.
I remember that. I'm gonna dig out the video from last year. I remember we had a video inside the stadium when we got that final goal, and the place went mental. But the pressure is on
big time.
The pressure is on every single one of those Arsenal players now because we've seen what they can do. Yeah, we've seen the performance they can put on. Yeah. Guys like Mesut Özil. Yeah, right. And this weekend now. They're going to Burnley. Burnley are playing some excellent football this season.
Level on points.
You know, level on points with us. Sean Dyche has got them playing. They're very strong at home, right? We know what they're going to be like. They're going to be very rugged. They're going to defend very, very well. They're a very well organised and well drilled team. We're going to have to be patient. They're going to be difficult to break down, but they're decent on the counter. They're a very strong team. And they can score goals. Especially from set pieces and things like that. It's a tough game.
It is.
But it's the sort of game though that if we're gonna,
we can leave a marker.
Yeah, we can't be just saying, well, we can't have this magnificent performance against Spurs
and then putting such a
and then you go there and then it's back to the same old. Away from home is where we've been so poor this season. And remember, following on from that, United is coming up, so we want to be putting in performances. Yeah. How are you feeling about that game?
I'm still kind of, edgy because it is Arsenal but yeah, they have put in a marker now to say this is the level we can go. Yeah, we don't expect you to be at that high level every single week, but no team ever is, not even the Invincibles were. But they did enough to get over the line and pick draws up when they should have lost and stuff like that. But the Tottenham result will count for nothing if we don't win. It'll be worth watching.
And Burnley are going to be pumped.
Yeah, they will.
And they'll remember last year. And if you remember last year, it was a very controversial.
Nothing wrong with it. Nothing wrong with that.
Come on.
You know what? You know what? The thing is,
we were very lucky last year. Very lucky.
Diverting off from it for a second, but it's led me to just remind you of something here, But nobody cared about Man City's offside goal against us. All I kept hearing was, would have been 2-1 anyway. Don't matter, does it? Stop sulking. All I've heard is the media and all that. Oh, but it wasn't a foul on Sanchez and the first goal was offside. Get over it. And all them Arsenal fans that were moaning about the FA, there's a corruption, there's an agenda against us. Didn't see none of them tweeting this week about it.
Listen, we've had a couple of decisions.
And
to
it was
be fair.
And also
against was it Bournemouth earlier on in the season?
West Brom, when they should have had a penalty.
West Brom.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so we
got away with that one.
Yeah, so it swings.
But then we've had them go against us. We've had the Lacazette one that was offside at Stoke.
We've had some dodgy ones go against us this season, but you know what? At the end of the day, they fell in our place. And you know what I say is that in the first 6 minutes or so, Vertonghen slipped over. Mesut Özil had the ball at his feet, laid it across. Lacazette tapping, empty goal, 1-0. Ref gave a foul. No one mentions that. We've all seen the replays. Mesut Özil never even touched Vertonghen. He fell over and he was appealing mid-air because he realised he'd slipped and he's like, no, what have I done? No one mentions it. You know what I mean? And it's nice as well. I love to see the Arsenal fan base to get together and absolutely ruin the media this week over that Mesut Özil gif, that thing and everything. And they're all crying about it. The guy that wrote that report knew exactly what he was doing. All right? He picked a combined Arsenal and Tottenham 11 and picked all Tottenham players. He picked Danny Rose ahead of Kolasinac. Danny Rose has played one game. Kolasinac's been one of the buys of the season, probably behind Salah at Liverpool. And you're telling me what you was doing with that report? You know, for what you
do you know the thing is just going back. You know the thing just going back to that game, right? Is that I've been saying. So I did a lot of programs leading up to that, a lot of collaborations with Spurs fans and that, and I kept saying to them, your team's overhyped.
Yeah,
you got a good team. You've got a very good team. But the way in which you're talking, I think you're forgetting we haven't lost a game at home this season, and your away records. You know,
and the thing is as well,
I remember you pointed that out on the
show.
You
didn't believe me, did you, initially?
The away record against the big six, the top 6 teams.
It's worse than Wenger's.
It's poor.
It's worse than Wenger's.
Yeah, and I was like...
You didn't believe me when I said it at first.
I was shocked when I saw it, and then I was like, they've got a tendency when they go to these big games away from home to fall apart.
Bottle it. You know what I mean? And if Tottenham are playing a back three, then Nacho Monreal will get in that back three. He's been one of the best players this season. By a million miles in a back three. So don't tell me that article was not provocative. It was not made to try and rile the Arsenal fan base. And all because Arsenal Twitter sent a nice little gif of Mesut Özil sipping on a cup of tea. They're all up in arms. Yeah, there are a few people that will cross the line. And they've been, death threats and abusive and stuff. Arsenal are not responsible for a minority. Gary Neville even supported Arsenal in a tweet and said that he applauds what was put. He said it was very funny. It was light-hearted banter. It was nice to see a club do something like that in response. They're not accountable for what a minority decide to do with that information. And now you're all crying wolf. You are the same people that put all these reports out and think it's good to do it.
But Mesut Özil has to take it.
You know what I mean?
And
So now you
he
can
takes
take
a lot of stick. He
it.
gets
So
a lot
now
of
you
grief.
can take it. Yeah? This is our town. We run this.
But is it going to be out? Because they will all be back.
Yeah, let them come back.
They will all be back if we don't deal with Burnley.
Like troops. Back again. You know what I mean?
If we don't deal with Burnley, they are going to be back again.
Yeah, of course they will. And it's down to
You
the
confident
play.
we deal with Burnley?
Yeah, do you know what? These players, they've got to go out there and put the shift in. They've got to go out
It's
there.
at home, nice.
It will be.
They haven't lost the game at home this season, but
it
away
will
from
be,
home,
you know,
rubbish.
it will be a completely different game to the Spurs game.
Yeah.
Burnley, even though they're at home, they will not go out there and try and attack us and play football, because if you try and play football against us, we will pick you off, and we're as good as anyone at doing that. And Sean Dyche is not an idiot. And, you know, Burnley's best results have actually been away from home, and I think they've played every single big team apart from us at the ground. And, you know, they've beaten Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, although they're lucky with the send-ins offs and everything else. But some of the results they picked up, it's like last year they were awful away from home, superb at home. But this year it's like a role reversal. They've been very indifferent at home, superb away. So... and
that is because, basically, like you said, when they go away from home, they just sit in, they're well organised.
And I think they will do that with us at home.
They're going to treat Sunday like an away game.
Yeah, and they will sit and they will basically say, right, you get through us. And it's down to us. Like last year, we probed and tried, and it took until the 93rd minute or whatever. And it might be that again. It might be that. It doesn't matter whether you score a goal in the first minute or the 93rd minute. What matters is the 3 points.
And please, Mr. Wenger, Lacazette has to start that game. He must. He must start.
Well, let's look at this realistically. What are our 2 best performances this season?
So, last week,
Yep.
you know, against Tottenham and Everton.
What was the front 3?
That was Lacazette, Sanchez, Özil.
The only 2 times that it's been them front 3. The only 2 times it's been that front 3. Against Everton, let me think. Against Everton, all 3 of them scored. Alexis got an assist as well, and I think Özil got an assist. That the other day, Özil got an assist, and Lacazette got an assist, and Alexis got a goal. So all 3 of them, in both games, have all been key to loads of goals in the game. They've all had a part to play in those 2 games.
Lacazette has to start.
He was superb on Saturday. A lot of people have this big myth that if you're a striker, you have to score. You've had
he creates assists as well.
Even Spurs fans that I've spoken to after the games, they turned around and said that one of the players that really caused them problems was Lacazette, because he was getting in behind the lines, his movement, and he's now it showed it. That the only dampener on Saturday would be when he was substituted, and you could see the reaction of the fans. They all started booing. They were really...
Yeah, but I didn't blame Wenger for that.
No, but they were so disappointed.
He looked so tired.
But they were so disappointed. But it shows how much they appreciated what he did.
Like you said, game management again.
Yeah.
Game management.
And that's the thing. And I think that, you know, a bit of the, you know, frustration because he's come off again in the 70th minute. But then it very quickly turned to appreciation, and it was a standing ovation.
You see, Mugabe's gone even before, and Arsene Wenger's still there.
I can't believe it.
Wenger is the great survivor.
Do you know what?
How many? You know what?
Arsene Wenger's gone through Saddam Hussein, Bin Laden, and Mugabe. Jesus Christ, how many American presidents? He's outrun Barack Obama. Who is it before that? Bush. It was Jesus Christ.
How many managers has he outlasted?
Oh my
Pulis went the other day.
Oh, that was brilliant. I love to see that. Absolute tracksuit wearing mug. Can't stand that guy. Anti-football, absolute horrible little man. Cannot stand him from his days at Stoke and everything, and his long ball merchant. So when I saw him get sacked, I was like, yes.
You got to rate Wenger. You got to rate Wenger, man. He's the great survivor.
Do you know what? I was having this conversation with someone today, and you know, like, because obviously this week we've now brought in that Sven guy from Dortmund.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about
and
him.
What's his nickname? Diamond Eyes or something. He's meant to be the best in the business, and you only have to look.
Sven Mislintat.
Mispronounced that. I mean, but you
I've got
think
Sven right.
you think I looked on all the forums with like Dortmund fans and everything else. I haven't seen a single bad word said about him. You know, and even people within the game and people that are not connected to Dortmund are like, wow.
Apparently, it's going to be another 30 grand a week. Replacing
Half of Matt Debucci's
replacing
wage.
Steve Rowley, who's been there for 25 years. Now, they said that he spotted Aubameyang.
A lot of players
He brought in Lewandowski. You know, he's brought in some top players.
Yeah, and the thing is, you look at it, right?
Well,
How
did
many
he spot
times?
Lewandowski? I mean,
Oh yeah, because Lewandowski was going to Blackburn.
Lewandowski was going to Blackburn, so he didn't spot him, did he? He's just like,
Well, they still
he moved in for him.
Still see something. You know what I mean? And at the end of the day, how many times have we sat here when you're doing your transfer daily and stuff like that in the summer, and you've turned around and said, "Wow, look at Dortmund's window this year."
Yeah, but I spotted a lot of them play. I could see Dembele before they bought him, and I was thinking, why not Arsenal buy him?
Listen, I see some.
Maybe I should be a scout.
I see some of the players you spotted for ArsenalFanTV FC, so don't even go there.
And
we're smashing it right now.
We're doing bits, mate.
Know what I mean?
Right?
We can't say too much at the minute, but we are smashing it right now.
But listen,
More because of me.
listen. A new scout, so catalyst for change is happening.
Well, do you know what? Like I said, I was having this conversation. I genuinely think Arsene Wenger might be gone at the end of this season.
Why?
I genuinely think he's going.
Because they brought in a scout.
No, there's more than that. There's a lot more. There's
What?
this guy from Barcelona that's nearly done as well, the director of football. Ivan Gazidis has now moved his office to the training ground.
Right.
Then there's...
Also, that don't mean he's going, does it?
No. What I'm saying is all these preparations behind the scenes is for life after Arsene. And he could have easily...
How do you know it's for life after Arsenal? Maybe he's just...
Even the people that are closest to the club have been reporting this week and saying...
Making some changes.
No.
Catalyst for change.
Arsene Wenger is very strict in what he does and the way he believes it should be done. You know Arsene Wenger's comments on director of football. What are they? Do they direct?
Yeah, but this guy's not a director of football.
No. But the director of football's coming in. There was the talk of Mark Overmars. Now there's real talk of this guy from Barcelona. This guy's, and they've all brought him in. They're all coming in before January. Now these guys could have easily been brought in at the end of the season. If Wenger's got one more year next year, then they get brought in at the end of the season. They work within the team for the next year, ready with a new guy that's going to come in, etc., etc.,
So
etc.
you think it's part of a succession plan?
I think it is. I genuinely think that we are very close to Arsene leaving. I honestly do. Even when
He won't leave at the end of the season.
Even when I listen to the way Arsene talks at the moment, and he's now saying that we will review it at the end of the season.
I think if it was a disaster at the end of the season, maybe, but he's never completed his contract.
I got a feeling there's an international job coming up at the end of the World Cup, which he's interested in.
You're hoping and you're hoping.
I'm praying.
He ain't going nowhere, man. He ain't going nowhere.
I'm telling you. I reckon he is.
Arsene Wenger has never in his career, right, not seen out his contract.
No, but if he
That's what he always says.
But if he feels this is the right time and he feels that the club's going into the right hands and he's got the right job to walk into, you know, let's just say...
At the end of this year, he's going to have 1 year left. Why would he want to go?
Maybe this is it for him. Maybe he's realised that, you know what, this team has got something that he just can't get.
Nowhere.
Well, we'll wait and see, Robbie. We'll wait and see.
I think unless it's a disastrous season from now till the end of the season, I can't see him going.
But then they could also look at it and say, you know what, win the Europa League and, for example, or whatever, and he can bow out.
Nah, they'd afford him his last season, man. You're not going to make him be here for this amount of time, right? And then,
it depends.
He does, unless it's a disaster.
Do you know what?
And then turn around and say, well, actually,
it depends.
Off you go. No.
What it is, right? There's so much more involved, right? The one mistake we can't make is the next appointment. Like, it can't be like what Manchester United did with giving like the job to David Moyes, that kind of person. It needs to be a huge name with a huge pedigree behind them that can literally take over and deal with the pressure.
Somehow I get the feeling that it's not going to be a huge name. Somehow I get the feeling that it's going to be an up and coming. They might go similar to like when they brought in Arsene Wenger. Maybe he might be at Everton.
I don't know. I think the times changed.
I think them type of managers like that type of Marco Silva.
I know what you're
manager.
saying, but I just think that the times have changed from the days of, when Arsene Wenger took over. You've got to remember we had a year of Bruce Rioch scraping into what is the Europa League now on the last day against Bolton, Bergkamp having to stick one in the top bin and the clock end. So it wasn't, there wasn't a great succession after that. The end period of George Graham, we all know how that ended and everything. So the club kind of didn't have nothing to lose. And what you got to remember is that they were trying to get Wenger before Bruce Rioch, and they felt it was too big a step from following on George Graham from what he had done with the 89 and 91, the Cup Winners' Cup, the FA Cup, the League Cup. So they brought in Bruce Rioch, who knew the league, and then after that year felt, yeah, you know what, we'll give Arsene the go. Well, Bruce Rioch brought Dennis in, didn't he? He brought Dennis in, though, didn't he? So at least that's one thing we can remember him by. Although he did try replacing Ian Wright with McGinley or something, clown.
Good job, ArsenalFanTV.
You know what I mean? Boy, can you imagine that? Jesus Christ, man.
Bruce Rioch.
But you look at it and it's... I just think that the times have changed so much that to give it to a novice would be too big a gamble. And I think what happened at Manchester United and stuff could actually be a good thing for us. David Moyes was a superb manager at Everton. He had everything there. Everton were way punching above their weight on peanuts that were going on then. They didn't have the investments like they have now. And he was getting them into Champions League football and, top six and stuff like that. He was way punching above his weight. But once he tried making that step and following on from someone that had achieved so much and had been there for so long, it was just way too big. So you need a big personality and a big character and someone that's managed big clubs and done all that can maybe see out the first couple of years or so. To go away from Wenger. Move away from Wenger, let everyone forget about him. We can start to move on. People are not talking about it, not comparing and stuff like that. Someone that when we lose a game can take it on his shoulders, the media or fans or whatever going, oh, but what if that was there? Yeah, me. And putting up banners.
Would you give a new manager grace?
Yeah, you have to. You have to. He needs time.
Would you like the first season?
Of course you would.
Would you personally, would you ease off of him and say...
Why would I? I've sat there before the season starts and I say I ease off Arsene Wenger. Just go out there and prove me wrong.
Who eased off Arsene Wenger?
No, I've said to you, I will ease off Arsene Wenger, just prove me wrong. I told you before the season started this year that he signed a new contract. Nothing I can do about it. I will give him a chance. First thing you do is go out and prove me wrong in the transfer window. What did you do? You've done the exact same thing that you've always done. So already myself and loads of other people, our back is up before the season started. And then we go 2 games in, we lose to Stoke. 3rd game in, lose 4-0 to Liverpool. I gave him a chance. You know what I mean? But nothing changed.
Well, listen, at least, I think we're feeling a little bit more, pleased because we saw a performance last weekend. We need to see that this weekend against Burnley, and I think if he could do that, they're really gonna lift the vibes and really lift the confidence in the team as well. It's all about confidence with a lot of those players, and because we know that they're very good players, so it's a vital weekend against Burnley,
and the players have got a good rest.
Predictions?
I don't think it would be as tight as last year. I think that if we score early enough, it'll open the game up. That's the key. Open the game up, because then Burnley will have to come out. I'll go for a 3-1 win. 3-1? Yeah, I'll go for a 3-1.
Burnley don't concede a lot,
Their defence can be got at. They can be.
3-1?
Yeah, no, I'm going to go for a 3-1. But it's going to be a tight game initially. And like I said, first goal's key. If you let Burnley score first, it'll be a tough afternoon. Yeah. Because they'll have something to hold on to even more.
I can see it being 2-1. I think Burnley probably will score. But then, you know, listen, we kept a clean sheet last weekend.
And everyone said that Tottenham were going to score 3 and 4.
But I fancy us to win. I think the confidence. But this weekend is a big test for Arsenal because, you know, they can just throw away everything they did last week. And a lot of, like you said, a lot of those haters out there are just waiting for them to slip up against Burnley to say, told you, see Mesut Özil, told you, where was he this week? Told you about him, told you about Xhaka. So for me, these players, it's a big weekend. I mean, who would have thought that we'd be looking at Burnley and saying this is a massive game? Yeah. It's a massive game.
But like I said to you as well, the players have had a nice rest this week.
They've had a nice rest.
And I do think that that's a very good thing for not being in the Champions League. That's the only bonus that I will take from that, because if we was in the Champions League this week, we'd have taken all the main players. And Saturday would have been very mentally and physically draining because it was as a fan. I know I was absolutely just dead on my feet Saturday evening. I was just like, wow. Like, you have no idea. And I know that I ain't the only other fan that would have felt like that.
I felt like that as well.
So as a player, because you saw what they put in, you can imagine that they were emotionally and physically drained as well. So then to have gone into a Champions League game, which may have been away from home as well, could have been a tough one because we're normally crap in the Champions League to start with. We'd have probably had to have be winning it, otherwise we'd have been going into the Europa. So, you know, being in the Europa has given the chance for all of those players to have a nice rest, so there's no excuses.
Okay, well listen, that's the show for today. I'm going 2-1, he's going 3-1, right, against Burnley. It's a massive, massive game. Leave your comments below. How are you feeling about the game? Do you think that we can go there and get a result? Still keep raving about that Tottenham result last week. That was a great result, but it's not going to mean a lot if we don't get the job done this weekend. Massive, massive game. DT, thanks a lot for this All Guns Blazing podcast. Don't forget, the links are below if you want to download the podcast. You can listen to it on the train, listen to it in the car, listen to it just before you go to bed at night. Yeah. The dulcet tones of DT in your ear.
Cuddle on the couch. Do you know what I mean? Think of me while I'm in my cell. That seems to be the new thing, isn't it? Apparently you're my probation officer. This is my cell. I've got a brand new backdrop. Robbie's got his own airplane. His wife's had about 1,000 kitchens now. You've got Robbie Airlines, Robbie Limousines, Brian the Emirates. Oh, mate, you know what? The comment.
I wish I was that rich. I really do, man.
I got to laugh. It is quite funny.
That fictional world that people put me in, I wish I was in it. But,
isn't it?
But anyway,
his jacket last week, the explosive.
Thanks for watching the show, and we'll be back next week.